Hello, everyone, and welcome to Unity of Las Vegas. My name is Jim Lee. So glad that you're joining us. This is Palm Sunday. It begins the final week of what we call the ministry of Jesus the Christ. One of my compadres, Reverend Ernest Holmes, a great spiritual minister, he has this book, The Week That Changed the World, and that's what Palm Sunday does. It kicks off a significant week. And to start off with, I want to go to the book of Mark, the 10th chapter. As Jesus was leading his disciples from Galilee to Jerusalem, and on the way he says, fellas, I want to tell you something. You know what? I'm going to be betrayed. I'm going to be sentenced to death. And in fact, I will be killed. Well, they were in shock and in awe. They just couldn't believe what was going on. Well, first of all, they were asking him, wait a minute, you going to go there and you know all of this is going to happen? Well, that was one of the key insights that we're going to talk about today. And it's called courage and commitment. In fact, that is the talk title. So as we get into this, we're going to see that this week had a lot of highs and lows because on this Palm Sunday, they were shouting Hosanna and they were so glad to see him. And then by Friday, he was being crucified. But something else happened. On Easter is the resurrection. So this week's represents something not only in Jesus' life, but a transformational opportunity for us in our life. In a book by Joseph Campbell, it's called The Hero with a Thousand Faces. This book was the inspiration for Star Wars and a lot of other movies and books. In this book, what it symbolizes is a hero or shero is a person that faces a challenge, enters a struggle, gives it all that they have, and come out a new person with a new life. Well, Jillian today would take us on a modern day view of the consciousness of this Palm Sunday so that we can transform ourselves and have a new life. For those of you who do not know Jillian, let me just say just a little bit about her. First of all, she is a dynamic speaker, great storyteller, an intuitive life design coach. And it appears that everything that she does is all about helping people discover their purpose and their authenticity. That's who she is. But the other thing about her is that she has a good business head, too, because she is a development executive at Lyft and a producer of The Secret Identity Show on Amazon Prime. Now, we call her a Unity Truth student. I would call her somebody that I've known for years. But also, she is the executive producer of our Sunday experience, our program. So you can see she wears lots of hats. So today, open your minds, open your hearts, and get ready for wonderful service. We're going to start it off with Randy doing the Daily Word. John Jones will have music, and then Jillian will do a talk, and it's entitled Courageous Commitment. And then our very own Don Fouts will be leading us and guiding us and anchoring all of this in a meditation. Oh, this is a great Palm Sunday. God bless you. Open up your minds, open up your hearts for a great day.
Hello, everyone. My name is Randy, and this is the special reading for Palm Sunday. The thought for today is Hosanna. Today's affirmation, guided by the divine presence within, I follow the path to spiritual freedom. Imagine Jesus' experience riding a young donkey through the gates of Jerusalem, seeing the waving palm branches, feeling the people's love, hope, and even their fear as they shout, "Hosanna! Blessed is the one who comes in the name of the Lord." His followers looked to Jesus as the one who would free them from the bondage of Roman rule. Jesus, embracing his Christ's nature, the spiritual identity he shares with all people, had accepted the greater mission of leading humankind to freedom from all bondage, all limitation, even freedom from death. Taking my inspiration from Jesus' example, I fearlessly embrace my Christ nature. Guided by the divine presence within, I follow the path to spiritual freedom. John chapter 12, verse 13. So they took the branches of the palm trees and went out to meet him, shouting, "Hosanna!" Have a great day.
Thank you, Randy. And good morning, friends. We hope you've had a great week. It's wonderful to be with you, and we thank you for being with us on this beautiful Palm Sunday. In case no one else has told you yet today, we love you, we bless you, we appreciate you, and we see the Christ in each of you this morning. If you're joining us for the first time, welcome. This program's a great opportunity to soothe your soul and elevate your frequencies. Hit those subscribe and notification buttons below and share us with your families and friends. I want to extend an invitation to join us in our after-service fellowship community Zoom room at the top of the hour. It's a fun space for all of us to just hang out and catch up with our Unity of Las Vegas friends and families. Lastly, mark your calendars for Friday, April 2nd at 6:30 p.m. We're preparing a Good Friday service for you guys, and we'd love it if you could join us right here on our YouTube channel. Remember, it will premiere on Friday, April 2nd at 6:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Now, many of you are familiar with Jana Stanfield's music. She's been a musical guest on several occasions here at Unity of Las Vegas. And when Jillian told me what the theme of her message was to be for this morning, I knew immediately. I thought this song, composed by one of posi-music's dearest and talented singer-songwriters, Jana Stanfield, would be just perfect. This is If I Were Brave.
What would I do if I knew that I could not fail? If I believed, would the wind always fill up my sail? How far could I go? What could I achieve? Trusting the hero in me. If I were brave, I'd walk the razor's edge, where fools and dreamers dare to tread. I'd never lose faith, even when losing my way. What step would I take today if I were brave? What would I do today if I were brave? What would I do today if I were brave? What would I do today if I were brave? What if we're all meant to do what we secretly dream? What would you ask if you knew you could have anything? Like the mighty oak sleeps in the heart of a seed, are there miracles in you and me? You know there are. If I were brave, I'd walk the razor's edge, where fools and dreamers dare to tread. I'd never lose faith, even when losing my way. What step would I take today if I were brave? What would I do today if I were brave? What would I do today if I were brave? What would I do today if I were brave? If I refuse to listen to the voice of fear with the voice of courage whisper in my ear. If I were brave, I'd walk the razor's edge where fools and dreamers dare to tread. I'd never lose faith, even when losing my way. What step would I take today if I were brave? What would I do today if I were brave? What would I do today if I were brave? What would I do today if I were brave? What would I do today if I were brave?
I've loved singing since I was 5 years old. I was raised in Detroit, the only child of a single mother, and I remember to this day the first movie she took me to see at the movie theaters. It was The Little Mermaid. Ugh, my little 5-year-old mind was blown, okay? Everything from the animation to the music to just the whole picture just really, it drew me in, and I loved it. And Disney made an unprecedented decision to release this movie 6 months after the theatrical release on home video. So they released it in all the formats: VHS, Video 8, Betamax, and Laserdisc. Taking you back, huh? Anyway, well, we had a VCR, so my mom got it on VHS, and every day after school, I would watch The Little Mermaid. I'd put a scarf on my head, and that would give me the long hair like Ariel, and then I'd get my mom's bra, and then I would tie it around my tiny frame, and then I'd lean over my bed, and I would sing, top of my lungs, I want to be part of your world. My mom had to have the patience of a saint. Either that or I was good, but I'm just going to go with she just let me do it. Well, I loved singing. And when the first auditions for the very first play at my school came up, it was The Wizard of Oz. And I was excited. I told my mom about it. And The Wizard of Oz was actually her favorite movie as a child, so I was very familiar with it. It was so exciting. And I was ready because I knew I was going to be Dorothy. Okay, why? Here's my argument, okay? Dorothy sang, I sang. Dorothy was a girl, I was also a girl. So obviously, yeah, I'm Dorothy, got in the bag. So I remember to this day, I went into school and I was super excited. I told all my classmates, hey, I'm gonna be Dorothy. And they looked at me and they were like, you can't be Dorothy. And I was like, why can't I be Dorothy? They said, well, you can't be Dorothy because you're black. Dorothy's white. I mean, you could be the Wicked Witch of the West. She's green, that's close, but you can't be Dorothy because you're black. It's interesting. I look back at that and I wished that I was rejected for any other reason. Wished it was my singing or, I don't know, how I spoke or how I presented myself, but it was none of that. And just to put you all at ease, this was not a musical production. The administrators of the school were wise enough to not make all the parents of these first graders and kindergartners sit through a musical production of The Wizard of Oz. So, not a problem. But I wasn't rejected for anything that I could actually work to improve or get better at. I was rejected for the very skin that I was in. So, if you are anything like me, and the first time you're rejected for being who you are, you go on this journey that you strive to someday be part of their world. Who were you before the world told you who to be? Maybe you're saying to yourself, I don't even remember, it's so long. Or maybe you don't know how to access it because you're afraid of rejection. So when we share our authentic self, who we truly are, we won't be universally accepted. Okay, those who disrupt the status quo seldom are. Sharing who we are, while it sounds simple, it is not easy. So why is that? Let's go through it. Reason 1, we hide who we are, what's most precious to us, because of fear. So I've known Reverend Jim and Lisa for most of my life. Okay, so they were the ministers over at the church in Detroit, Renaissance Unity, back when I was 16. And Reverend Jim worked with the teens a lot. So we developed a relationship and it was great. And so I was so surprised and excited when Jim and Lisa came here to Unity of Las Vegas last year and took on the ministry. It was such a pleasant surprise and it was so fantastic. And I remember the first Sunday that Jim spoke, I sang the musical selection. And I just lost my mom, so I really missed her presence sitting in the front row, cheering me on with her big beaming smile and just being there as a support when I sing. But it was so great to have Jim there now, smiling and being super supportive, and it made me feel really great inside. And it really warmed my heart. And I remember after that first talk, Jim came up to me and was like, "You sing?" He was so surprised and shocked. He didn't know that about me. That's because I hid that part of myself. Not specifically from Jim, but by the time I got to be 16, what I did was I was very crafty. I created masks, okay? So I had Jill masks for every area of my life. So church Jillian, she did not sing. She led groups, she spoke, she was very spiritual, but she did not sing. Singing was for home Jillian and school Jillian, which is a completely different Jillian's than Jillian, who spent a lot of time with her close friends. So I knew that's what I needed to do. That was the ticket to success, or so I thought. I'll just be fragmented versions of myself everywhere, and in that way I could prevent myself from being rejected. Perfect. Great plan. Only problem was I was only being about 50 to 70% of who I was in any given moment or space and time. Crazy. It's pretty exhausting. Thinking about that, it brings me to mind this quote by Brené Brown. Vulnerability is not winning or losing. It's having the courage to show up and be seen when we have no control over the outcome. Vulnerability is not weakness. It's our greatest measure of courage. So yes, as a teenager, that was exhausting. So I came up with this idea. Brilliant idea. Maybe, what if, go with me on this, I was all of them at once. That's right. What if I took all these different people, masked versions of Jill, and I made them into one authentic me Jill that I could be 100%. And then at that point I said, yeah, I think that's a little less tiring. So I'm going to go do that. And so at that moment, without me even realizing it, that was my intuitive change and course alteration to my purpose. My purpose became being authentically me everywhere I was. So let's go in. Second reason as to why this is very difficult. We doubt our abilities and we may feel like a fraud. Okay, so of course, when Reverend Jim asked me to do Palm Sunday service, I said yes. And then I freaked out a little. Why did I freak out? Well, I had a lot of sensations. I was excited, it was joy, there was passion, anxiety. But why? I'm an intuitive life design coach and I do sales. So I speak a lot for work. So it wasn't the speaking, it was sort of the subject matter. It was Palm Sunday. It's got a weight to it, that's like the opening act for Easter. So kind of felt like a big deal. That being said, I started running through my head and I was like, okay, what do I know about Palm Sunday? I remembered the poems, and then I was like, okay, I know the story. So basically the story goes this. Okay, Jesus is going into Jerusalem, and on the way to Jerusalem, he tells the disciples, hey, get me a donkey. So they go to this guy, and he asks for his donkey, and they're like, well, bring it back. And he's like, why do you need a donkey? And it's like, the Lord, reason. So they grab the donkey, give it to Jesus. Jesus rides the donkey into Jerusalem, and the people come out and they flood the streets, and they bring their coats and they bring branches from palm trees and they lay them out before him in a path. They're saying, Hosanna, and he's our king. And they're cheering him on, and the energy and the feeling and the vibe of Jerusalem is electric. And everyone is losing their minds because, Jesus is here. Okay, well, maybe not everybody, all right? There were some people that were not as excited. Okay, not all of the people. Okay, the people who are in power, the Pharisees, the people in charge, were like, this is not a king. He is being treated like a king. There's a king and a leader and a ruler of this land, and it is not this Jesus dude. So, what? So, Jesus is stopped on his little parade route, and they say, hey, and I'm paraphrasing here, so keep in mind. They say, yo, bro, calm it down. Quiet your folks. And Jesus, also paraphrasing, kind of goes, no, if these people are quieted, the rocks will cry out. Which to me basically translates to, can't dull my shine, bro. And then he just moved straight on to the temple. And that's pretty much what I know about Palm Sunday. So that kind of created this question to me of like, why do we celebrate this moment? I mean, spoiler alert, the week does not go well, okay? So why do we celebrate Jesus's horrible, terrible, no good, very bad week, also more commonly known as Holy Week? Why do we celebrate a failure? Why plant a tree which will bear fruit that you'll never get to enjoy? These are the questions that were kind of rolling in my head. So moving into the third reason as to why it's so hard to be ourselves, we confuse commitment and attachment. All right, so one of my clients in my intuitive life design coaching business introduced me to the idea that they heard in the Landmark program that really stuck with me, and I absolutely love it. And this idea is that commitment versus attachment. So now you're probably thinking, Jillian, that's the same thing, right? Wrong. You can have one without the other. Commitment and attachment are not interdependent. So let's look at it. Commitment. So commitment, it's active. It's a conscious decision with commitment. You choose who you are. You choose who you are being independent of the results of your actions. Now let's move into attachment. Attachment is very passive. It's an unconscious decision. Results determining who you are being. It removes the choice from you. It removes that agency because you're now determining who you are based on the results of the outside world. So let's get back into, okay, that's all the reasons why it's hard to be ourselves, but how can we now step into our authenticity and be ourselves? I'll give you some steps. 1, we must courageously commit. Commit to what? Courageously commit to the outcomes in our life and our authentic self. By committing to people, outcomes in life, and being your authentic self, you can easily change your mind when presented with new information. There is a conscious creation process, a deliberate intentionality to your life. And when you're committed to your purpose, it won't matter the results you get. You will be persistent, you will move forward with strength, and it will not be important to be successful at every single little thing you do. It's just important that you succeed, and that's the difference. The second thing you can do, we must pursue purpose. So I have a very dear friend of mine who, when I was in college, was applying to medical schools. His name was Ryan. And he applied about half a dozen times. Didn't get in any of those times. And I remember I asked him, I said, Ryan, how does it feel like failing at getting into medical school? And he said, I didn't fail. I only fail if I stop. That is an example of commitment, of being himself and pursuing the purpose of being a doctor. When you choose commitment, it allows you to define success based on the experiences that you seek to create for yourself. You are free to be the way you want to be. You are free to be who you are. And step 3, we must abandon attachment. Abandon attachment to outcomes even while we pursue purpose. And it's possible because by abandoning attachment, every experience is practice. And practice yields insights that we can use to create our life and our future world. So now I'm going to read to you a quote that I really love from Napoleon Hill. Every failure brings with it the seed of an equivalent success. Failure is just a seed of success. When we're attached to outcomes defined by other people, we are susceptible to their definitions of success that are inauthentic to us. We get weighed down by judgment, guilt, anxiety, and shame. And these are the things that cause us to freeze up. Now, I want you to take a moment and just think about this with me, right? Jesus moving into Jerusalem. So why do we celebrate this Palm Sunday? You know, honestly, I don't know why you celebrate, but I am going to make an offering, a commitment, if you will, an intention to deliberately on this day celebrate an example that we can follow of a courageous commitment in Jesus' story. We see Jesus courageously committed to who he was. He pursued his purpose, and he abandoned attachment to the outcomes of life. You might be thinking, I'm not Jesus. I don't know my purpose. I gotta go find it. No. Let me take you in something else. Imagine a lighthouse. Do lighthouses run around looking for lost ships to save? No. Lighthouses stand and they shine bright so that lost ships can find them. What about a flower? Do flowers run around looking for bees? No. Flowers, they simply bloom. You being your 100% self. Imagine that. Your purpose is authenticity. When you share your authentic self, you won't be universally accepted. Okay, those who disrupt the status quo seldom are. A man in rags being celebrated by crowds of people as a king, riding into Jerusalem on a donkey, was something that people in power had never seen before. A Black Dorothy was something the kids I went to school with in 1991 had never seen before. You being your 100% authentic self unapologetically is something the world has never seen before. So, if you are sick and tired of trying to change who you are to fit who the world expects you to be, but you know, if you go it alone, you'll continue to play small because you're afraid of being rejected, then I'd like to invite you to pause for a moment. Take a deep breath and say these affirmations with me. I am more than enough. I am able to see and act in alignment with my divine purpose. I am the luminous presence that is aligned with the true power of perfection. I am amazing just the way I am. I am safe and trust others to allow me to express my authentic self. Shine, bloom, do what you came here to do. Feel the fear, do it anyway. No. To answer your question, I was never Dorothy, and I'm no longer attached to that outcome. I am, however, committed to always sing, to move people to catharsis, and to use my voice to empower others and change lives. And who knows, maybe someday I can even do that playing the role of the Wicked Witch of the West. When we courageously commit to being our authentic self, pursue purpose, and abandon attachment, we are guaranteed to succeed, because even our greatest failures are seeds to success.
Something has changed within me. Something is not the same. I'm through with playing by the rules of someone else's game. Too late for second guessing. Too late to go back to sleep. It's time to trust my instincts, close my eyes, and leap. It's time to try defying gravity. I think I'll try defying gravity, and you can't pull me down. I'm through accepting limits, 'cause someone says they're so. Some things I cannot change. Till I try, I'll never know. Too long I've been afraid of losing love. I guess I've lost. Well, if that's love, it comes at much too high a cost. I'd sooner buy defying gravity. Kiss me goodbye, I'm defying gravity, and you can't pull me down. So if you care to find me, look to the western sky. Has someone told me lately, everyone deserves the chance to fly. And if I'm flying so low, at least I'm flying free. To those who'd ground me, take a message back from me. Tell them how I am defying gravity. I'm flying high, defying gravity, and soon I'll match them in renown. And nobody in all of Oz, no wizard that there is or was, is ever gonna bring me down.
Failure contains a seed of success. Stand still as a lighthouse stays in one place. Your light will bring success to you. Jillian, you truly are a success. And you remind me of the work of Jean Houston, author of The Possible Human. To summarize in one sentence, Dr. Houston's work is to remind us that as human beings, we are connected to a spark of the divine, an essence of compassion, love, wisdom, and truth. Our mission as seekers of the divine, we go within to become aware and have a relationship with Source. We can grow an awareness of our natural God-given divinity. The possible human awakens to their individual highest and greatest self. This can only be done in expanded relationship to Source, to spirit, to soul. I would like you to consider another idea, the idea that your body contains 3 intelligence centers. Students of Enneagram discover that each of us is creative in 3 intelligence centers. We all have adapted intelligence in our minds, in our hearts, and within our bellies, or gut center. We are all thinkers, we are all feelers, and we are knowers. Each of us has the capacity for using any of these 3 intelligence centers by nature and by choice. Our family of origin story typically dictates if we are more strongly inclined to focus within our heads, our hearts, or our bellies. Many of us are great feelers, and our intelligence or focus tends to be from the heart. Others simply live their lives less thinking and with less feeling. These people simply know what is for them. Enneagram defines us as either head types or heart types or gut types. This meditation is meant to plant a seed of love, a light of divinity, a source of joy and wisdom within each of your 3 intelligence centers. So with a smile on our face, let's dance together in the light of God's joy as we go into meditation. So if you're comfortable, I want you to close your eyes and find your breath. The breath is the beginning of acknowledging that I am present here to myself. So take that long breath in and just notice your body. Notice the position of your body if you're comfortable. Notice your feet, the sensation of your feet on the floor. Notice your hands, the position of your hands, the sensation. And notice if you have resistance to the meditation. And just let that go. It's noticing and letting go. What I'd like you to imagine right now is above your head is a golden light. It may appear as a sun, a small sun, maybe 4 or 5 inches in diameter. But it's warm and it's inviting. It has compassion and love. It can be your best friend. It can be a loving parent. Symbolically, it could even be your favorite pet. Just the essence of this golden ball of light is for you. And now we're going to easily imagine that this ball of light comes into your crown, into the top of your head. The sensation is loving, and it feels again like a best friend, somebody you can touch, you can trust and enjoy. And bring this ball of light into the center of your brain space and let it grow and let it comfort you. Let it ease your thoughts. And there is nothing ever that can keep you from your greatest good, from your wisest intelligence. It is ever present as you remind yourself of your connection to love, joy, and wisdom. And now we're going to move this focus into our bellies. and notice. Just notice what is there. Expand this golden light in the center of your gut, healing your digestive system. But more than that, freeing you to intuitively know what's right for you, what your next step is, bringing you peace. There's also a sense of power and strength. Grow that essence again as if it is your friend or parent, guiding you to your best life, protecting you when you need protection. And there is nothing ever that can keep you from this intelligence, from this intuitive knowing. And you are safe in every way. And finally, we're going to bring this sense of awe, compassion, and love into your chest, into your heart center. Just notice that there. Breathe easily into the divine self that you are. Hungry to give love as you are hungry to receive love. Beyond this heart, beyond this body, lies a stillness, an absence of noise, an absence of thinking. It just is pure potential. And you are in that field of pure potential when you're centered in your heart. And there is a light of love. Visualize it as a lighthouse. And this light is attracting. Its attraction is bringing you whatever your heart desires. And this desire is mostly described as love, a companion that never leaves. And we are grateful. So from this heart center, expand that golden ball of light, move it easily using the nervous system to expand into every cell, even expanding beyond your body. So not only are you the source of the golden light is surrounding you and touching every person that comes into contact with you. This is the beautiful way of living, the possible human. So breathe easily, knowing your divinity is but a conscious choice, a moment away. And in gratitude, we give thanks for this time together, this Sunday morning experience. Unity Church, you are amongst friends. Thank you.
Thank you, Don, for your great meditation. Randy, thank you for your daily word. John Jones for your music, and Jillian for an inspiring message, and surprise, she sang for us too. Wow, this is a great day. So please join us at a fellowship time at 11 o'clock, from 11 to 11:30 Pacific time on every Sunday. And this is an opportunity for us to get together and share and explore and go even deeper if you want to. This week, I just want to let you know that we're having a special Good Friday service at 6:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And we're going to have another little special fellowship time right after at 7:30. If you are standing in need of prayer, you can always call Silent Unity. There will be somebody there 24/7 just for you. You can support this ministry in all kinds of ways. We would love your prayer, but also the tithes and offerings are accepted. You can go on the website and click on the donate button or text us by phone. Bring all of this in now. I just want us to anchor ourselves in the prayer for protection for ourselves, for our families and friends, and also for this world. So as it comes up on the screen, let's all say it together. The light of God surrounds us. We are the light of God. The love of God enfolds us. We are the love of God. The power of God protects us. We're the power of God. And the presence of God watches over us. We are the presence of God. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. God bless you.
What step would I take today if I were brave? What would I do today if I were brave? What would I do today if I were brave? What would I do today if I were brave? What